Hi, and welcome to the Daily Run with Za podcast. My name is Eliza Miron, your host, also known as Za. So this is a story of myself. I started running every single day when I was 16 years old, and I've been running every single day for 20 years. So here is where I share my motivational story of running with over a decade study in yoga philosophy and holistic nutrition. So this podcast will help you learn how to make small changes in your everyday life to feel healthier and happier. So this is season 3 of my podcast. We have 2 other seasons where the first season I talked to the founder of the Run Streak Association. You can go to runeveryday.com. And this was formulated in the early 2000s as a list, a registry of all the streak runners. And in 2009, it became an international registry of run streakers. So a run streak is defined as running at least 1 mile every calendar day for at least a year. So on there, we have John Sutherland, who's at number 1 in the world, just reached the world record this past summer of over 50 years. And I have, some podcasts talking with other streak runners. And second season, we went into focusing on women's streak runners. So I created 2 years ago a women's streak running Facebook group where women streak runners gathered and we support each other. And there's been quite a few other women I've spoken with that have also run through pregnancy and giving birth like I did. And sometimes it's good to talk with other women that have done that. I know when I first became pregnant, I wanted to keep my run streak and I reached out and I couldn't find anybody else that had ran through pregnancy and giving birth. So I just said, okay, I'll figure it out. And so my streak lived on. And here I am 20 years later, running every single day. If you follow me on Instagram, Daily Run with Za, I share more over there as well as YouTube. So this season, we are going to talk about obstacles in running, not just running every single day, but just running in general. The practice of running, adopting the practice of consistent running, whether that's training for a race, a marathon, whether that's just learning to run a mile without stopping. So I'm going to draw upon yoga. So the main text in yoga is called Patanjali Yoga Sutra. And in Patanjali Yoga Sutra, chapter 1, Sutra 30, he lists 9 different obstacles that can kind of prevent us in some ways, or they're just, obstacles they have the ability or the potential to prevent us from going forward in our practice. So if you see running a lot like yoga, like a sadhana, meaning it's more than just the physical benefits. We're not just going out there and losing weight, getting a good sweat, and then being bad people through the rest of the day. We're going out there, we're runners, we're experiencing life, we're feeling gratitude. There's some devotion that happens within running, at least for me anyway. So these obstacles, I'm kind of going to relate into a running practice. So we will go into the 9 different obstacles. The second sutra right after 31 has kind of 4 more obstacles. So we will talk about that. Do you want to know? I'll give you an overview. Okay, so for example, we have disease, we have lack of interest or boredom. Let me know if these kind of relate to any experience that you've had in your life as far as trying to commit to a running practice or, getting in shape. We have self-doubt, we have distraction, we have burnout, we have desire or craving, we have living under misunderstanding. And let me just draw on this one a little bit because this kind of indicates something we think we're doing right. And maybe we even do this for years and later come to realize, oh, I've been doing this wrong the entire time, which is very red flag in yoga. You want to make sure what you're learning is correct, meaning finding a good teacher, someone that's connected to a tradition, someone that has their own teacher, somebody that practices yoga themselves. So to kind of seek out, especially, in this age of information, one influencer says this, somebody else says this, and you're just kind of blindly following this. So it's good to have a coach, a mentor, a teacher in your life, and really making sure you're doing this correctly. Okay, and then we're moving on to doubting progress, inability to maintain these achievements. And then we go into the 4 other ones, like practicing or running with mental, physical pain, sadness or depression, restlessness, anxiety, irregulation of breath. So those are examples of obstacles that Patanjali gives us that can potentially halt our progress. But when we meet these obstacles, we shouldn't meet them like enemies or, something in our path. We should kind of welcome these obstacles as opportunities. And how we do that definitely is not an easy thing. And, I will draw upon my experiences and also talking with other run streakers. We will kind of go into these obstacles and what they had to run through to be able to run every day. I think sometimes we assume, you've run every single day for 20 years, your life must have been easy. But let me tell you, there were some very difficult times in my life. I started at age 16 and think about how much changed from a teenager to now. So, going into different examples of what I had to run through, certain obstacles or opportunities that were presented and how you get through them. And, I know we're just talking about running right here, but, that's like the Zen quote, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So if you build up this practice that you're able to burn through these obstacles and move on and become better with running, just think about if you're doing that the same thing in life. Somebody tells you no, but you really want to do something. Well, is this end of the road, or is this maybe an opportunity to try a little bit harder? All sorts of life cases that we could talk about. So I think running definitely shows a lot of potential for lifelong learning. And, in the past 20 years for me, I've learned a lot, not only about running and myself, but about life in general. So I'm excited to kick off this season with you. We have, like I said, a few Run Streaker guests I'll be talking with and interviewing and kind of going into the deep, difficult times that they had to run through. So thank you so much for joining. Follow me on Instagram, Daily Run with Za. I'm also a one-on-one yoga teacher and integrative nutrition coach. So if you're looking for more one-on-one support in that element of your life, reach out and we could work together. So have a good run. Thanks for watching and listening.